I think the most powerful thing is human will.
Yeah.
If you could stake it on some claim, whatever purpose that is, it will happen no matter what. Like you just send it out there, and you the thing is, you never know how it's gonna happen. Like you didn't know that you were gonna meet these models.
No,
you didn't know that this guy wanted to be at a party.
Yeah, it was just random.
It's just random. Like you get what you look for, basically.
Exactly.
And I think it works out always. And
yeah,
as long as you put your best foot forward and you believe in it,
yeah,
it'll always work. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sound 14 Podcast. I'm here with Ram. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, man. We're in this new space today, or actually for probably the next few episodes. I don't know how long we'll be in here, but if you're thinking like this space looks kind of different, it is different. But yeah, thanks for coming on. You're the first guest in this new space.
Yeah, I'm happy to be the first guest. I'm excited. You told me, and I was like, okay.
We linked up on campus, like randomly. Like we were I was walking out of class. You were going to class, and I was like, "Yo, what's up? I haven't seen you for so long." And we never meet on campus. I think because our classes are just like so separate, so different timing wise, that we never get to meet in person. But yeah, we met up. We're like, yo, let's do the podcast. Here we are.
Yeah, it was like totally random too. I was running. I had an exam that day, so I was like running, and I was like, yo, I've never seen you on campus. I'll just holler at you real quick. But yeah,
exams are the worst part of school, bro.
Yeah,
worst shit. Like, we're both seniors now, and it feels like, thank God it's almost over. You know,
I can't wait to be out. Like, school is not it.
School is not it.
But stay in school, kids. Like I'm not endorsing anything. But.
Yeah, it is gotten to the point where I think people are starting to realize it, because I saw an article recently that the application rate or just the applying to school for college, that rate has gone down tremendously. You know, like I think doubled or 2-time decrease in applications to like the Harvard business program, the MBA program, and colleges across the board are getting less applicants, which is starting. I think it's apparent that people are realizing that school isn't as valuable anymore. You know, there in the 80s and maybe before then, it was kind of I don't want to say like a requirement, but it made you stand out, right? Like it made you stand out in a crowd. But now everybody's got a degree, everybody's going through school, and it's like there's not really much differentiation. Like what's going to separate you and me from everybody that's out there that's looking for a job or something? And people are realizing that they could just do it on their own, you know, like they don't have to go to a campus. They can learn on YouTube. They can learn on all these other, platforms that the internet has provided, and you don't really need it anymore.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with you. I feel like in our parents' generation, like the 70s and the 80s, education by itself had much more of a value.
Yeah.
So if you went to college, there's a higher chance of you getting a job as an outcome. Yeah. Unlike now, it's a lot different because the population's a lot higher, first of all. And then, yes, you're right. A lot more people have college degrees, or there's also a lot more majors. Back then, I feel like there was a lot less. Like you're an engineer, especially like in India, I'm saying from like my parents' generation. Like either you're like an engineer, or you study even harder to be a doctor, or... yeah, you're an engineer. I don't know what else. Like, that's why like so many of like my family like members or family friends are just engineers. Yeah. Or some are doctors because they were like, we're gonna be different.
Yeah, we're gonna be different.
But now there's so much you can do, and it's a kind of a blessing, and at the same time, kind of like a curse, I would say, because there are so many things that that differentiate people. It's hard to kind of like put a value on that. That's why you see a lot of people who get like 4.0s who are like doing really well in school and have like extracurricular, but yet still like it's hard to find a job. It's because there's like some people who just can like are better at talking maybe.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
It is. It's different. Like I think that the times have evolved to allow freedom. Like we were just talking about music and how easy it is for people to get plugins and things that people would dream of 30 years ago to be able to have compression in their software and all that stuff, and not be able to go to a studio. You could just record at your house. You have the mic at your house and everything. Like that would be a dream to a kid, in 1985 or some shit, Exactly. And here it is, like we're living that.
Yeah, and technology makes it like a lot accessible, I would say. And it was funny that you bring that up. I had a client the other day, and we were recording, and he was kind of like messing up. So we're taking take after take, right? It happens usually. And I made a joke. I'm like, yo, if this was like the 80s or the 90s, we were like, our tape would have just like been like thinned out because that's how many takes we took. I'm just like, I'm joking though. We have a computer now.
We could, that undo button, bro. Like that's a lifesaver for me, bro. Every time I'm on Photoshop or something making a design, that's probably my most used command is Command Z to undo everything, 100%. Every mistake,
Yeah, I use Command Z all the time all the too. Time. Like it's like, because I'll be playing and like I'm no Stevie Wonder, so I always like mess up something. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, let me Control Z, or even better, I just changed a note.
Yeah, that's how it's gone.
You can't do that back in the day.
Yeah, it's been amazing, like the evolution, and then you start to realize like now it's gone even. Now there's like another stage of VR and AR, and I've been fascinated by that because the AI side of things, like the AI and AR, like imagine playing a piano, but there's no piano here. You're just like playing like this with your fingers, but there's a virtual piano and some shit like that,
It's crazy. Actually, I was actually having a conversation about AR. So, like, what's your thoughts on it? Like, do you think it will be like a sensation when it comes out, or do you think it will like fail?
Like,
or maybe...
do you think you mean by a bodysuit or something where it gives you haptic feedback, something like that?
Oh yeah, or even with haptics. Just like let's just say like we're in this room and I put on like some kind of goggles.
Yeah,
but I can still see the room, but I see other things in the room. Like we have like, I don't know, like I'll put a floating lamp or something.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's like something people will like consumer based?
I think it'll work better with VR, where it's all virtual. Like if it's AR and you could still see this reality, you could definitely tell that something is out of place. Like the light just doesn't reflect correctly on something that's virtual,
Exactly.
And so if everything's virtual, then everything just fits in, and you know that this is a virtual space and it's not real. But if it's like, like I said, if something's real and then you have a virtual object, you could definitely tell it's man-made, like virtual. But yeah, the VR space is gonna get crazy. Like I saw a recent video of Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD. He had a video of him wearing, I think, the new Oculus goggles, and he had 3 monitors, like 50-inch monitors, and he was just like video editing. Like
that's crazy.
So instead of having 3 actual monitors, you just have the monitors, and you could go to like Starbucks or something and have 50-inch screens. And to you, it appears as 50-inch, but to everybody, there's like no screen there.
There's nothing there. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's going to be applications like that, like maybe even complete virtual like podcasting. Like, I don't know, like that could happen, like where you're in your room and I'm in my room, or any space, and you just put these goggles on and everything's there. Like it starts recording at whatever angle. Like you don't even need cameras because you could just digitally do that. Like put the camera wherever you want, have as many cameras as you want, I think it's definitely going to open up new doors for people.
Oh, 100%.
Like it's going to change and revolutionize the way we look at and how we interact with each other. It's the next thing,
Yeah, because I know Amazon uses it because like if I'm like buying a product, they like allow me to see how it fits in my room. So I think applications like that and
that's
editing would be a really... I think it would be better than VR in that case. Because I feel like VR right now is just a lot of like video games are being used, and like of course the metaverse, but I don't think the metaverse is doing that great. But
once Bitcoin like took a deep dive, you know, people were like, all right, we gotta do something else.
Yeah, and they're like, nah.
That was crazy. Like when NFTs over the summer were popping off, everybody was like, get into NFTs, and then the whole market just crashed for crypto. And now I think the playing field has like leveled out, and people are like, all right, we'll just go through this recession and we'll figure it out later.
Later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't understand that. Like, I know, like, I like looking at like finances and whatnot, like our different type of investments. But for some reason, I mean, cryptocurrency kind of makes sense. Like, you know, like I'm not going to say like, I'm not going to give any financial advice. Let's just put it that way. Like, I don't think I have the legal means to do that. But yeah, I just never really understood NFTs. Like, I should have probably looked at it more when it was kind of popping off and see like, what is this?
Yeah.
I did a little bit of education for myself, but I never really got into it for some reason.
Yeah, same. I get what makes it popular and what makes people attracted to it. It's digital art. You know, that's what it is right now. That's what people view it as, is collectible, right? Like something that instead of having the Mona Lisa in a museum or something, you could have an art collection that's digital, and it verifies that this is the original one in this code and blockchain. But Gary Vee was talking about like how it could be much more than that. It could be something where instead of a ticket that you get for, let's say, a basketball game, it could be an NFT.
Exactly.
And that can allow like the guy who purchases that ticket that has this NFT now can, since it's like a special game, let's say it's like a Christmas Day game, that they can have some sort of perks after that. Like, so they purchase this NFT, but now they get to maybe visit the practice facility some other day because they have this NFT. Like, it's something more than just a ticket.
Oh,
and it's like it'll live on and give you like perks.
Exactly. And that's what they did with the Super Bowl, right? Like, if you got a ticket, it was like an NFT form.
Oh, really?
Which is cool. Like, even if it's like worthless, like I would like to have like kind of like a memorabilia saying, okay, I went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that's
so year.
That's been a big push for it, is like something like that. And even memorabilia stuff, like people save, 1930s like Yankees ticket, like that'll go for like a few $1,000s because it's just such a unique item. And people have this nostalgia for something. Like if it's something old, like a magazine from the 1970s or something, that people during that time would just pay a few cents, they would read it, like they would throw it away. But if you just wait 50 years, now it's valuable.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Right, even today, like at 50 years from now, the New York Times of, when Biden was elected or something, or Trump was elected, if you just wait 50 years, that actual piece of paper will be worth a lot more.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Even like my Game Boy games.
Yeah.
I've been like looking at the prices of them on like eBay and like just people selling them. And those prices are going up.
Really? Yeah,
because it's almost been... How many years has it been? It's been, 17 years.
Shit.
Yeah, since I got it. So the value of like back then we got it for like what, $20 or something. Now I'm just selling it for like 100, like Pokemon for $100. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
And people are getting into the reselling thing too, like a lot over the past few years. If you're not, or they go garage sailing and find some thrifted item, sell it on eBay. Style. Yeah. And anything that you're not using, you just sell it on eBay or whatever. Shoes, it's been crazy, like the resale market.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. And I know they also started doing drop shipping, right? I was like, this thing. It's funny because I actually looked into drop shipping, and a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on drop shipping. So let me actually ask you about that. What do you think about drop shipping?
I actually tried it too when I was 17 years old, right? And it was during the summer, and I heard about it, like why not try something that's fully online?
Yeah.
You don't have to have inventory. First off, like that's a huge plus, and you just sell products that you get from a wholesaler or somebody else has the product, they ship it. You don't even have to touch anything. You just have to bring the customer in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, why not just try it out? And so I go on YouTube, learn everything I can, open up a Shopify account, go to Alibaba.com, go to some fucking Chinese retailer that I think, what was I selling? I think I was selling baby clothes or something like that, like some clothing.
Okay.
And I had around 3 items, and I made this website and made the logo for it on Canva, designed everything, got the website, and people were saying like, okay, instead of organically reaching out to people, use like Facebook ads.
Yeah, run ads.
Run ads on all these platforms. I think that, this was before TikTok and everything. So Facebook ads was where I put all my money. I think I put like $100, $200 in at first. And like, I didn't expect much of it. I'm like, nobody's going to buy this piece of shit. Like, I wouldn't even buy that. Yeah. Like, it's cheap ass clothing. And somehow the ads worked. Like, I started making money, and it would ship out the orders. Like, everything would work perfectly. But after, I think, like 2 weeks, I was like, this is not fulfilling at all. Like, I do not enjoy the process of it. Like, I would have to do things like on the shop and everything. Like, now I have a clothing brand of my own, and I like doing all that shit. But back then, I just didn't enjoy the process. And when you don't enjoy something, it feels like work. It feels like tenuous. Like, oh, I had to do this. Like, oh, this customer wants something, I got to email. And like, you never want that to be your life.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. And
even though I made like some money, it wasn't worth it. Like, to me personally, like, just trying it out, it wasn't my thing. Yeah. And I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I put like I got my feet wet a little bit and tried something that I never tried before. And now that I have my own brand, and it's kind of like the same thing, except you have your own creative control, right? Like, instead of having to drop ship or like ship other people's products, you have creative freedom to make your own product. You have inventory costs, but at the same time, it's your own thing that you've built, and you get to market it however you want and create products and create whatever you want. And that I enjoy way more. There's something about it that I enjoy that's supersedes everything else. So
100%. The thing is, like, that's why a lot of people see job shipping as like a kind of like a terrible thing. It's because a lot of people think in like the idea of it is just like making quick buck. I mean, which is totally doable. It's just, what is your moral and ethic about it, right?
Yeah.
So basically, I started a company too, called Sprezza Express. It's still, I incorporated, and the first thing is like, you know what? I was like, let me try to make some money and kind of launch my career into other things, right? That was the first idea of it.
Yeah.
So same as you, I made a Shopify store, went on Alibaba Express, and I was like, okay, what products should I sell? That was my first thing. I was like, what do I sell? Like, everyone's selling everything.
You made the account. And now
I go on TikTok. Everyone's selling everything. I was just like, this is weird. So I'm just like, okay, let me do something. Let me actually test if these like products are even good. So I went on TikTok, and everybody was selling this like temperature water bottle. Like, it has like the thermometer. Or not thermometer, but like the LED screen that shows like how hot your water is or how cold it is. And I would see like 100 ads about this. Bottle looked really cool too. So I'm just like, okay. So the thing is, like, in Alibaba, they have this thing where you called trade assurance, where you can get a sample from the
supplier.
So from the supplier. And if you don't like it, you can like send it back and be like, yo, I need my money back.
Yeah.
So I went to a high rated supplier, and I was like, hey, you have a lot of good ratings, so send me a sample. I want to see how this bottle is. I wasn't going to sell this bottle, but I was just like, let's see what the hype's about. So I bought the sample. This is true story. Comes in the mail. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. I open it. I'm trying to open the lid. The whole thing just snaps in my hand. Really? I didn't even do it hard. I was just trying to open the bottle, and it just breaks in my hand.
The lid or the whole?
The lid itself, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The lid is just because it's a metal bottle, but
Yeah.
the top part is plastic, so the plastic just snapped in my hand.
Damn.
I was like, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I tap on the LED screen. I'm just like, oh, it's not working. I'm like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So I looked on YouTube. And was like, how do I work this? I'm like, oh, you just tap on it. Nope, it wasn't working at all. So I was like, I went into a crisis. I was like, yo, I started this company and I don't feel like this is even like ethical in a sense, because I was like, I wouldn't want to sell this to people and kind of like fake my customer reviews and stuff. Maybe they are good products, but I feel like I'm almost scamming people. So I feel like now it's like, okay, now I understand why like drop shipping has this like name
Stigma,
to it. Yeah. So I was just like, so I thought to myself, like, how can I do a drop shipping company, like still drop ship, but honestly have good products and like
be reliable.
Good intent and be reliable, where like somebody buys this product, they're going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
So that's when I found this candle this guy was selling on it was San Clemente Mall. Yeah. You know how that on the outlet malls, they have like people on the outside selling?
Yeah, on stalls.
Yeah. And there was this guy who was selling handmade candles. And it looked so nice, smelled so great. I'm just like, I have to buy this. So I bought it from him. And I was just like, I think these are the people I would want to like have as my suppliers or like work with, because they need help in marketing and we have the means, like, running ads, like we can take care of that. So at this point, it just became like a marketing company.
Yeah.
Still drop shipping. The con of that is we do have less profit margin, because like when you bought from Alibaba, it was probably like a couple cents a unit, right? For bulk orders.
I think it was less than 50 cents, something like that.
It was crazy, right?
And I would sell it for maybe, I would feel bad at putting it at like 20, because I was like, that's like so much money.
Yeah, like you're doing like a markup of like over, because usually they say like at 3 times markup is like where you would get like the most maximum amount of profits. But like with Alibaba, I was just like, dude, I'm doing more than 20. Like this doesn't seem right.
Dude, I felt bad at putting it at that price. Like if they knew how much I'm getting it for, and I was like, there's no way I could do this. But I'm not saying if other people want to do it, like that, people have made millions from doing it, and to each their own. But for me, I have to be hands-on with the product and design it myself and make it to a certain quality that, like you said, you're happy with presenting it to the world.
Yeah, and plus I want to know who these suppliers are. Like I want to know them, because like that's why it went from drop shipping to helping the entrepreneur, like our mission. So I was just like, our profit margins are going to be a lot less, because I'm not going to be getting any handmade products for like 20 cents a piece, which just doesn't make sense. But I just feel like it has more of a value when, like, we have that connection with these suppliers and they're like, hey, I'm proud of this product because I made it and I like it too. Because I was like, hey, maybe this candle, for example, like it's a great candle. I use it in my room all the time. So,
yeah, you're happy with it yourself. That's something that I've definitely learned is, if you're not happy with the product, how do you expect other people to be happy with it, right?
Exactly.
Like everything that you sell, you should like actually use. Like all like if you're sponsored by a company, you should actually use those products. So it's easier to sell that way. If it's just a better thing. Like if it's so much harder to sell a product, like let's say you sell a t-shirt, but it's like the thinnest material, and every time you wash it, it shrinks like half the size, and you don't like wearing it. It's way harder to sell that than if it's a product that you really like putting on. You're repping it every day, and that energy and that enthusiasm, like it shows to other people as well.
Exactly. It gives you just more of intent yourself to sell something than rather than just saying like, I need the money right now kind of thing. So yeah, that's what it changed into. Because every time I tell someone like, yeah, it is a drop shipping. The model is a drop shipping model for the company. They're like, you're drop shipping? Really? Why? I'm like, oh, I know how it sounds, but I was there though. But I had to change because I was like, now I understand why it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, but how is it? How was it like incorporating and everything like that process? Was it difficult for you? Because I just did it myself for Be Change. My clothing brand, and I didn't know, like we're in business school and they don't teach
they don't
this
teach
shit.
You that at all. No.
we're in fucking business school and they don't teach you how to start a company. Or I mean, I expect that from school, but at the same time, like it's fucking business school.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, let's talk about this. I feel like one of my like morals in life or things I wish happens, I wish a lot more people had like businesses. It doesn't. I'm not saying like everyone's going to be like a Fortune 500 company. No, but a company can do a lot more than just be like a money generator or it's like protection for sure. Like, you know, so when I started my company, I wanted to incorporate first thing, because I actually had a company last year, a startup. We didn't incorporate. I wanted to incorporate like the first thing, like, hey, because you know what it does is
what happened with that one. What
management trouble? That's a whole other story. We can get into it, but just to answer your question, but just pretty much learning from our mistakes before. Let's incorporate is what I told myself first thing, you know, because what that does is honestly, I won't say it protects you like indefinitely, because like if you're like making something, obviously you have to have like trademarks and patents to actually have like full protection, copyright. But incorporation, because if somebody sues you as a company, it's harder than to like go to like court and like win and blah blah blah, all that lawyer stuff, than me just suing you personally, because you know you have liability for yourself, right? And it's just full liability. So the first thing I did is actually I have a mentor, so he told me like, hey, these lawyers are having a seminar about what corporation, LLC, all kinds of different entity types do. In school we learned that, right? So I'm just like, hey, I know a little bit about this. Like, oh yeah, C Corp gets double taxed. LLC has, you know, less liability, like, you know, limited liability corporation. There's also S Corp. And so I was like, okay, I know a little bit. Dude, I went into this seminar. It was so much more than what we learned in school to this. I was just sitting, I'm just like, yo, like slow down. Like there's, I got more confused going into it, but it was good. I'm glad I was more confused, because like, okay, there's a lot more things I need to look after. Because I was just like, I don't know if you get these ads on YouTube, but I always do. It's just like forming your LLC, form it now.
Oh, right?
I always get that ad. So in my mind,
legal Zoom and all that shit.
Yeah, like legal Zoom and stuff. So I was like, you know, LLC. By the way, let me like pitch and ask you a question. What entity type did you?
Yeah, LLC.
You did LLC? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was just, I think, I looked it up at first. Like most clothing brands have LLC, and it's good to protect like all the assets, like your separate bank account, like everything from website to like all your assets are separate. Like from business to personal, it should be separate. Yes. And so that's how I made it. Like some people, you know, in the beginning, you don't really have to do it because, you know, you're just starting off. You could just, but I realized, why not just put in the effort now so that I don't even have to worry about it later? Like it'll just continue to have that protection further down the line, even if nothing happens, you know?
100%. I think LLC would be a great option for that.
Yeah.
Because I was going for LLC too, because I was like, you know, this is probably the best. The reason why you do LLC is like when I went to the seminar, they're like, you can easily fall into the sole proprietorship group. I still didn't understand how that happens, but it's like pretty common.
Yeah, for what he's talking about is taxes wise.
Yeah, tax wise. So pretty much if you don't structure your LLC correctly, it becomes, I forgot the name of it, but it becomes this one type of LLC, which is in the government in California, secretary is going to look at you as a sole proprietor. So what that means is you're going to be taxed as a sole proprietor, which is a lot more than being taxed as an LLC. So I'm just like, how I'm doing job shipping right now is like I'm just a sole member as of now. I do have people who help me out, but with equity, 100% is mine. Yeah. So if I fall into this category, I'm going to be paying a lot more tax than I should. So I'm just like, okay. Another way is you do LLC as an S Corp, which becomes kind of crazy. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be too crazy about this because I'm just like, okay, maybe later on we can change it. But that's a lot of structuring to do. And I'm like, okay. So I talked to my CPA. So I used to work for a CPA and I came up to her. I'm like, hey, remember me? She's like, yes, I do. I'm like, I need your help now. And I was like, I was wanting to do this as an LLC, but I want your advice. And she's all like, let's do it as an S corp. Keep it simple. We divided the whole company to 100,000 shares. And I was like, let's just keep it simple like that. And you pay a lot less tax. I think the average for S corp is like 20%, 21%, something around there. So I was like, so that's how I incorporate. And I actually had made her incorporate because LegalZoom, it is easy to do, but if you mess up, it gets stupid. Then you go back to a CPA and they have to fix it and you're paying more money. So I'm just like, how about this? You do this one for me. And she's like, since you work for me, I'll give you a discount. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Got it done. Did
you go through LegalZoom?
I went through InkFile, which is a different one, but it's like $5, bro. Like
oh, really?
The state filing fee, you just had to pay that. But I got it expedited for like $80 more. So I just paid $85, and they have their own lawyers. They give you a registered agent, all that shit. So it's all handled for you. Like you just basically how to fill in the information, what the name is, and all that stuff, and they give you all the paperwork, articles of organization, all that shit. So
the bylaws, and all that.
Like I don't give a fuck about it, but I just have it, whatever.
Oh yeah, it's always good to have because like let's just say somebody wants to audit you for some reason, and they're like, they'll look into everything.
Yeah.
As an auditor, yes.
Yeah, it's crazy like that. This stuff has been, kind of out of people's minds. Like the information hasn't been available to everyone until now. Like the internet has brought this. Like I would not know how to start a company in 1983. Like what the fuck would I do?
Exactly.
You would have to go to some like the state office and fucking fill out paperwork and all this shit.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's how it was. You have to go and fill it out. And the craziest thing is mobile banking, I think. It just made life so much easier because I was thinking about it. I was like, if it was in the 80s, like I wouldn't know my credit card statement till like either I call up the bureau or something or go to the bank or I wait for my monthly statement that comes by mail.
Yeah, nowadays banks are like empty, bro. You walk into a bank like nobody's there. They're just standing there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always empty too.
Yeah, it's always, I don't know how it's a bank, they could afford it, but like they just have spaces like Wells Fargo, Chase on every single block. I don't know who walks in there.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm the guy who walks in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the guy who you probably don't see at the bank.
The only time I've been to a bank is when I opened an account once when I was when I was in high school, like a high school checking account.
That's when I went to.
But other than that, like now I started a new account. And I just did it online. Like
same. I do everything online. Did you do your business? Did you have a business account?
Yeah.
Did you do that online?
Yeah, online. Everything.
Yeah, I did mine online, and everything was chilling. It was very easy to go through. And I messed up on one thing. I read the thing wrong, and it said like what is your company? I thought they meant like what kind of industry am I in?
Yeah.
So I put like retail and e-commerce, right?
Yeah.
I thought that's what they meant, but no, they're like, oh, we wanted you like a brief information. But what they did is they thought somebody was opening fake accounts under my name, right? So they froze all my accounts.
Damn.
My personal account, my business account, everything. So I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So I went to the bank. That's what I went to the bank. That's the only time I was in a bank for 2.5 hours. It was horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
They went through like everything.
Everything. They had to fix it. They had to like send proof to like their headquarters or whatever. Fraud examiner saying like, oh, he's here. It was just him.
It was just a mistake.
It was just one mistake. I was like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
And 2.5 hours for like the first hour to fix my business accounts. Because they even seized my credit card. Oh, like, shit. Everything. I was like, dude, I can't even spend. Like,
yeah.
Luckily, I had a Discover card to go buy myself lunch that day, but I was like, all my Chase accounts got frozen.
Really?
Yeah, and then they worked with my personal accounts. They're like, let's fix, because I have 3 checking accounts for different purposes. Yeah, and they're like, okay, let's fix this one now. Okay, next, let's fix this one. Let's fix your music account. I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
it's too much.
It's crazy. Luckily for me, I think I have a separate. It's not even part of Chase. Like it's another company that I use. So like I think, what is it? Blue Vine or something like that. It's an online business bank account. So it's separate from like any of the major banks. But it's still like credible. Has
is FDIC insured?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Insured,
You want to have that just in case. Like sometimes, like there's some like low key banks that come like, hey,
but now it's way harder to get away with that shit because you just had to Google it. Like everything I do is like best bank,
100%.
best clothing brand, best product, or best microphone or something like that. Like you could just see reviews of literally everything, and you just pick the one that's right for you. Like it's
100%, exactly.
It's hard to go wrong now. It's hard to make like mistakes where you just give your money to some guy in Nigeria.
Yeah, because oh my god, these scammers.
These scammers. Yeah.
I think we talked about that last time, right? About scammers.
I don't think so.
We didn't. Oh, I used to have this hobby where I used to talk to scammers.
Oh, maybe you talked about it. I don't remember.
But yeah, I have this because like they're just those people who text on like Instagram DMs and they're like, "Oh, you need a sugar mama?" Yeah. And I'm just like, "Yeah, I do." And I text them back saying like, "Yes, I need you." And then they're like, "Oh, like I think you're really cute." Is what this is what they're saying, telling me, and they're like, "Oh, I think you're really cute. I would really like to spoil you." I'm just like, "Yo, this is crazy, yo! Like, give me the money already." And then like I'm just kind of trying to find out. So there's different types of scams. Is all I'm trying to say. Okay. So I don't know if you've probably seen the sugar mama one, right?
Yeah.
The sugar mama one. There's the Indian guy who calls you. Either there's a computer virus.
The call center. Yeah.
That was my favorite one. This guy once called me and he said like, "Hey, we found your car in the New Mexico border to Mexico." I'm like, interesting. I've never been to New Mexico, but I was like, oh. And he asked me, he's like, did you go to New Mexico last week? And I'm like, yeah, I was just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had time to kill that day. Okay. I was on this call for like an hour. So he's like, okay, we found your Toyota Camry 1998 model on the border with a pound of cocaine in there. I was like, wow, how'd you find that? I ditched that car in the border. And they're like, it's okay, sir. We're going to help you out. And we are going to, you just have to send us money and we're going to get you out of this. I'm like, oh, okay. I act like I was freaking out and stuff. So now he's like, if you mute, the FBI will come to your house, is what he said. Really? I'm like, okay. And I muted him. I'm like, let's test it out. I was just like hitting that mute button. I'm like, okay. And he's like, go to the bank and give me money. I'm like, okay, give me like 15 minutes. I'll go to the bank, right? So I muted him. I play a quick game of Call of Duty. Like play a quick search and destroy game. And I came back. I'm like, yo, you still here? He's like, yeah. I'm at the bank. Got the money. Who do I send this? He's like, send a picture of like the statement or whatever to this number. So I went on Google, found a picture of a guy putting 2 middle fingers up, and I sent it to him. And he started cussing me in Hindi, bro. And he's all like, "You waste my time." I'm like, "What do you think you're doing, bro?" Like, come on.
You called me, right?
You called me. Like, I had time to kill. You didn't. You had to go scam people. You have a job to do. And he got so mad. He started calling like all kinds of names, and he hung up on me.
Damn. But that's good though. Like you teach him a lesson. Like
exactly,
you're doing this thing to scam people out of money. Like it's not worth it. Like you might make a few $100s, but at what cost? Like it's not even ethical. Like I feel bad. Exactly. Kind of doing that shit.
And I felt great that day because I'm just like, I wasted almost like an hour or so of your time. Like you could be scamming someone else, like an elderly woman or something. So I was like happy about it. I'm just like, at least maybe I saved one person. I'll be happy.
Yeah, I saw a video, I think of Mark Rober. He's like a former NASA scientist. And he made a video about like scamming the scammers. Meaning like there was like a scam call center in India, and they somehow like hacked the system to where they got cameras in there. Like they like called them instead of them calling the other person. And then they started they teamed up with the local police department to like bring them down.
Yeah, I think I've seen this video. Yeah.
And they got it done. Like they took down like an entire call center, because you had to be kind of discreet with it, because they could easily move. Like they could be in there one day making calls and shit, and then an email goes out. Now everybody like leaves. They don't even come back to that office space. Yeah, they just leave, go somewhere else.
100%.
So they have to have all the evidence in order, and they finally like raided them, and they got people, and it's It was crazy.
He has a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
Where he does this. Yeah, I think I've seen this one video that was really funny. So basically, they hack into the call center, even their cameras.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're watching
cameras.
everything, and so this scammer, they call on this scammer, and then they're like, and she's like, "Hi, my name is Alice," but. And he's all like, wait, isn't your name Priya? Is what he says on the call. And she freaks out. She's like, how do you know my real name? Like, who are you? He's like, I don't know, Priya. Why don't you tell me? Or something. And I was like, yo, this guy is on another level.
That's crazy. Imagine that. Like, you think you're protected, but now like they got security cameras on you now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's a cool. I recommend people to watch that. That's a cool. I forgot what the channel was called, but
yeah, it might be a different channel. That does like the scam call center, but Mark Rober, I think, teamed up with that channel to make that video.
Something like that.
Yeah, because he usually does like science experiments, like, getting elephant toothpaste and like shoot, like it explodes kind of into like a volcano. Like, have you ever seen that? Like different colors and shit. And he makes like videos like that. He's fucking insane scientist. Like, he made a dartboard that can, wherever you throw it, it'll always be a bullseye. Like, the dartboard moves.
Oh wow!
So, yeah,
it's like a
So wherever you throw it, like, it has a camera, and sensors, so that it's always a bullseye. And he does crazy shit like that.
Interesting. I might check this out.
Yeah.
Get on my YouTube grind again.
Yeah. I know. There's some people that you think like, how the hell are you that smart? You know, like I'm just, my mind does not work at that length. Like, the math, analytics, coding, like that's a special type of person to be able to have the idea for it and then actually execute. Like, it would be cool to make a dartboard that always is a bullseye, but how the hell am I going to do that?
100%. No, I feel you. Like, I'm on the same wavelength too. Like, I see some people who are just like, just smart, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't think that people who are like, don't think they're like as smart or like a genius, should like look down upon themselves.
Yeah,
too.
I think everybody is immensely intelligent. It's just intelligence in a different way. It might not be through coding, but it might be through some creative outlet, through music, or through writing books. Anything else, like cooking. You could be intelligent in a lot of different areas, and it doesn't have to be like book smarts only.
Exactly.
That's something I've gotten better at understanding, is that, I think as kids, you've been like taught to think that smart is getting A+. That's
it's
smart.
It's not. You get older, it's not at all.
It's not about the grade. It's about whatever interests you. That's what you're smart at. Like, that's what you can become. Nobody's like smart just out of the gate.
Exactly.
Everybody had to learn something. You started with no knowledge. You didn't even know how to walk at first. You didn't know any languages at first, but you learned that. So why not learn any other thing that you want to learn?
Exactly. And that's why I feel like, I know some people like work extra hard. Like, for example, me, to get one thing, some people get it like super fast, which is cool. I just can't do that. I have to like really like do it again and again.
Yeah.
Even music, like, music did come to me in a sense because, like, I was very interested in it. Like, there's no way I stuck for this long if I didn't like it. But even that, it took so long to honestly understand stuff. Like, some people just come and they're like, yo, I'm making trap beats. It's been a week.
Yeah.
Nah, that wasn't me. Like, I wasn't good at making beats till like way later. Like, it took me like years to like honestly understand. Like, there's still a long way to go, but I'm just saying to get to where I'm now, I am right now.
Yeah, I think that there's a Malcolm Gladwell quote that says it takes like 10,000 hours to be great at something.
10,000 hours rule.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably correct, but I think it's just, if you don't even have to look at the hours, just obsess over it and you'll eventually be good at it.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I never look at how many episodes did I do, how many times have I edited something or been on Photoshop, and how many posts have I made. Like, that's not what I look at. I look at, okay, I'm passionate and interested about creating something. I have this idea. Why not make it? And I don't care how long it takes. It's
100%.
just do it. Like, express who you are, because in the process of it, you'll realize everything that all the knowledge is already there. Like you might think, oh, well, how am I going to do it? How the hell is this going to happen? Starting a company, starting a business, like how the hell is that going to happen? But if you just put 1 foot front, 1 foot forward and just keep on walking one step, like I think there's a quote that says, if you take, just keep walking and the path will appear, right? Like it might be blurry, it might be clouded, but if you just keep walking, it's just going to open up more and more and more. And eventually you'll realize you're right there where you always wanted to be, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's just about like persistence. Like the 10,000 hours thing, it's a cool concept. And I do agree with it. Like if you do something for 10,000 hours, you probably like,
you'll be great.
You have a mastery at it. But I feel like people getting caught up in that, like you said, like it's a metric.
Yeah.
The metrics are good, of course. Like you need metrics to measure whatever you want to measure. But if you keep measuring in a sense like, oh, I had 10 songs, but what if I made 10 crappy songs where I just half-assed everything? Still made 10 songs though, right? But still, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like you could have done like 1,000 episodes. Each episode would just been like mic issues or something. You just never fix anything, right? It would have been
It's not about the completion of whatever it is, the episodes or the amount of music. It's the process of getting better at it.
Exactly.
And I don't think you need to have like a checklist of, okay, I should be here at this time, or, I need to progress this far. I need to make this much money by this age. It should be a constant curiosity with how much you could do, right? Like if you want, let's say, to start in music, right? Like just start by YouTubing, like how to do stuff, and eventually you get better at that, and you start adding stuff to it. You add plugins, you add better equipment, and you start getting better, more comfortable on the microphone. You start getting better at making beats or whatever, and that evolution is success. That's the success, is the progress towards the goal. And to me, I never have an ending of, I have an idea of where I want to be, but it's not the end all be all. And
of
that's
course.
it.
Yeah, that is, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's just so easy to get caught up in some future plan. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm going to be married at 29. I'm going to live in a mansion. Of course, I would love to do that. Who didn't want to be like that, right? Like, money is great. Like, I don't like when people's like, money is evil. Money is not evil. People are evil. That is just how it works, right? But that's another topic. But what I'm saying is, like, it's always good to do just one step at a time. Because I used to be caught up, like, in 4 years, I'm going to do this. In that 4 years, so much changes, especially in our age. Because, like, if I'm from, like, 40 to 45, not much might change. But from 20 to 25, a lot changes.
And I think it changes if you actively seek it, right?
Exactly.
Like, you could change at 40 to 45.
Oh, 100%.
But most people don't, because they've, I don't want to say given up, but
they're
it's settled. Yeah. It's just, okay, well, this is how it is now.
Exactly.
But you could change, like, literally within a year, within 6 months, you could change your entire life.
You can change. I know some people who made, like, I don't personally know, but, like, I wish. But I know, like, I've heard of people, like, making, like, their whole life change in, like, a year. Went from being, like, broke to, like, millionaires, billionaires. I'm like, yo, anything can happen.
Everything starts with you. That's what one of the biggest lessons I've learned is, if you want your life to change, you have to change.
You have to. That's the thing.
That's
you have
it.
to.
Yeah.
You just have to. It's all, like I said, like before, it's all in the mind. Everything's in the mind. Like, people say, like, how does someone become so successful or whatever? I just feel like, you just kind of, it's the art of not giving a fuck. There we go. I did a book like that.
Yeah, it's a book. I forget who the author is. Mark something, I think. Yeah.
Did you read the book?
I haven't read it, but I know the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of reading it. It looks kind of cool. Like
the title.
That title itself, I'm just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, just because the title, I think it's a bestseller, and because of the quality of the content, of course. But I'm pretty sure it's a great book. I haven't read it yet, but people that I've met have said good things about it.
Yeah, no, it looks cool because right now I'm finishing what's that book called? 48 Laws of Power.
Who's it's up?
Robert Greene. Robert Greene. That book is kind of like, it's pretty crazy. I like it because it's just like, just straight to the point, saying like, if you want to do this, you got to be like this kind of thing. I was like, whoa. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people kind of shun that book down because it just talks about being unethical. Like maybe having power can be unethical. True. I'm not saying those people are wrong. Yeah. You can misuse power so easily.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
But I think Jim Rohn had a good saying. He said, be the person that's powerful, but at the same time gives powers to everybody else. You know, like instead of trying to be the most powerful out of a group of people, why not empower everybody else? Like if you're powerful enough, why not bring everybody else up too?
And that's what makes a leader, right? Because a person can be powerful in the sense of just being like, oh, it's just me. I'm going to do this by myself.
And we've seen how that plays out for a lot of dictators. You know, it never ends well. Never ends. Like you could see throughout history, you know, all the people that have gone towards that path, all the rulers that wanted all to be the king of the world, they've never done it because for the one simple reason that the universe does not, I don't want to say, let me think. It allows for all freedom. And whenever you restrict other people, like whenever you push other people down, whenever you try to knock other people's like buildings down and try to build yours up, it's those people are going to rise too. Like they're not going to just stand around and hope for, all right, well, this is just how it is. They're going to try to fix it themselves.
Exactly.
You know?
Revolt, anarchy or something.
I know. Nobody just stands around and is like, all right, well, fuck it. But
no, 100%. Yeah, that's the thing. Because the thing is, like, all the dictators, they were good at something that was convincing people. That's a good leadership quality. But the thing is, they use it for the complete opposite of evilness. And like, you know, like, y'all know the history. But like, that's the thing. It doesn't even have to be in a top power of like dictators and stuff, even like normal people. Like you talk to, because I know I've been going around talking to business owners. Okay, I've been on the hunt, just pretty much just asking like, hey man, what's your advice? Like, how did you start, kind of thing. Let me just hang out with you and for a day if you can let me. So,
you should record that. If you should.
Honestly, should I? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I've been going around doing that. So basically, so I just go. They're different business or different industry, like real estate. One might be in like supply chain or whatever. So I'm just starting with family, friends, and stuff. Yeah. So one of my close friends, her dad owned some business, right? And I was telling her, I'm like, hey, started this, because I actually started 2 companies. The other one is an entertainment company. That's where I like that one a lot more. But I was like, hey, I started these 2 companies, and I'm working on it. Things are going pretty well so far, but I just want to learn from people. And she's like, hey, my dad has
this company
business. Yeah. I'm like, oh, bet, can I talk to him? She's like, of course. So I hop on a call, and he's like, hey, why don't you come and help me out with this thing I'm doing? Sure. I go, and he tells me a little about his business, real estate, and everything's going well, right? And I kind of like help him out one day at this show where I like kind of, I was just like a salesman. I was practicing my sales pitches. So that was cool. Like, you know, I got paid for the gig too, and it was whatever. And the next day, I went to his house to drop the panels and everything that he gave me. And he was asking me a bunch of questions. He was just like, so why are you doing this? So I told him, like, hey, start 2 companies. And like, you know, I know I briefly spoke, and here's my business card. He looks at it, and then, man, folds it in half almost. Like, he's like playing with it. And he's like, and he's laying on the ground too. Like, he's just like snuggled in while talking to me. So I'm just like, I think just get up and talk to me. But I was like, whatever, it's your house, right? And he's like folding my business card and whatever, and like playing on the carpet. Like, you know how kids are fidgeting? He's like fidgeting with it, and he's just like doing this, like
not interested.
Yeah, he's like pretty much disrespecting me. I was like, okay, like cool, like if that's what you think. And then he's all like, so are you still in school? And he's all like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what are you majoring in? I'm like, I'm majoring in accounting. But like, just give him my rundown, like, you know, Indian uncle rundown. And I'm like, hey uncle, this is me, blah blah blah. And then he's all like, okay, then you should quit all your businesses then. Straight up said that. Like, he's like, you should stop. I'm like, why? right? And he's just like, why? Why would you even do it? Why wouldn't you even start it if you're in school? Like, leave the business stuff to people like me, kind of thing. That's what he kind of said.
Damn.
Like that. I'm like, bro, what? I was like, you know what? Yeah, I was like, fuck you.
This is the wrong person you have to ask advice for.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, I left. And yeah, it just, there's people like that.
Yeah, there's people like that. I mean, yeah, there's all sorts of people, but those people that bring other people down from trying something, that's just like disrespectful.
Exactly. It's like what you just said. It should be, you empower other people. It actually makes people more powerful in a sense.
Exactly. And you think it might make a detriment to you. I think that's how they look at it, is like, oh, if this person does better, that means that they're taking away from me. When that's never how it is. There's no limit to success. Like, people think that there's a pie of success that only a certain amount of people can become millionaires. Like, only a certain amount of people can be happy in life. It's never like that. It's
never like that.
Unlimited. But if you think that if your perspective is it's limited, it is limited, because that's all you're viewing it as. You're thinking that just because this person here wants to start a business in the same area of business that I'm in, that's going to take away from it. You know, we're going to have another competitor and shit. Or you could think of it as a new person that you get to help, you know, and become friends with. Oh, this person also likes doing it. Why'd you start this business? You know, be friends with that, be friends with them, and develop relationships. And it benefits you not only, it benefits you in the emotional sense. Like, you feel better about yourself giving, right? There's not one time in my life that I've given and I felt bad about it. Every time I give something, anything, your time, money, advice, you feel good.
Oh yeah, you feel great,
right? Like, it's there's something about that giving process that it makes you feel good. And it's priceless. That's, to me, is priceless.
And no, I feel exactly like what you're saying, because, like, for example, I have this guy in my class. I had him in a couple of my other classes. And one day he's all like, after class, he's all like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go to the library and get some work done. And he's like, honestly, can I come with you and do work with you? I'm like, sure, of course. Like, I'm usually alone and doing it by myself, but like, I would love to. Come by. So he sits down with me. We don't do any work. We actually had a great conversation. He was like, you know, man, it's my final year. I haven't talked to anyone outside of class. Like, you know, I just kind of like did school and left. And he knew about my business. So he's like, can I like come shadow you? And I'm like, of course. Like, if you just want to come and just like sit in meetings and stuff, of course. Like, why would I say no to that? Obviously, I'm gonna make you sign an NDA, but like, and he did. He came and he sat in some of my meetings. I kind of showed him like how things work, and that's it. That's what he wanted, and I felt great. I'm just like, hey, if this, I know I didn't like show you how to make like $1 million or something, or like cure your financial debt, but if something helped you out this day, I'm happy. And he's like, he did. He's like, bro, like, you know, now I kind of understand like bookkeeping. Like, he's an accountant too. So when he saw kind of like how our books were working, and he's all like, oh, this is an interesting system, because we don't have any system in place, just hand doing our books at the moment. But he's like, this is interesting how you're doing like this. And he's like, you know, this actually really helps. And I'm like, if feels good. I'm like, thank you. Like, thank you, because like, you know,
it helps you. You
it
feel
helps
good
me too,
right? Like,
it's kind of like validates me if like it doesn't make sense to someone else. And he's like, yes, it makes sense. Or if it doesn't, okay, let me try to fix some.
Yeah, that's a great way of like meeting people and also sharing advice. Like, that the knowledge we share, like, that's what makes us like humans, right? Like, the reason we're the number one species on this planet is because of that fact of we share more knowledge through generations than any other species. We have written down like books and through oral speeches that have also been written down, centuries of information, right? Like, thousands of years ago, you know, the Bible was written, or the Bhagavad Gita or the Quran or whatever. And so many other philosophers have written down books and stories, and Shakespeare was like 1500s, and we still look at that literature to this day because it was written down. And that stuff is knowledge. That stuff like inspires you. Reading a story written by Shakespeare might inspire you to create a novel of your own or to create a play or something. And without that, you would lack inspiration. You would lack some sort of idea. And why would I try to be a detriment to society by not giving all the information that I've gained, right? Like that's why I love this podcast, is because all I do is share like every amount of knowledge that I have about life, about, ideas that I have that might help people. I just share everything for free because I want people to do better. Like I want it more for you than for myself.
No, exactly. And that's why like a lot of people, like sometimes you like share too much about like whatever you're doing.
You can never share too much.
I know. Like, the thing is like, I feel like, because I wish someone shared this to me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like I am going to go, because right now, like there's a lot of things I don't know, of course. Like, in the comments, like call me out if I say something like factually wrong. Right. But it has to be a fact though. Like you have to back it up. Don't just say I'm wrong or I suck. Just
fuck the haters.
Just now I love haters. I love haters. Especially like, I just told you I have a hater right now. He pulled my business card up. So I'm just like, he did go around telling people like I'm a confused man and stuff. Damn. Which honestly made me feel better about myself. I was like, maybe I am doing something correct. Hey.
That's how you know though. Yes. Like, when people are doubting you, it's not something that you should be upset about. What I've learned is they're just a reflection of who you might think you are unconsciously, right? Like that reflects. Right? Everything in this world like reflects who you think, the personal thoughts you have inside the subconscious mind, whatever. And that's what's portraying. Like the people are just sending you messages all around you. Your environment is just sending you a message. So that a person saying that, of course you don't take everything seriously, but you realize, okay, I got to work on myself. There's no point in me telling that person to fuck off because that's not going to solve anything.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, this guy has this opinion about me, but why should I believe what he says? Right? I could develop myself. Like he doesn't think I could do it, but there's a lot of people that might think I can do it. So who's right? The
thing is,
you choose
whatever
right?
you think about yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't even matter about people who believe in you. I mean, it feels good when someone believes in you. But at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, nothing's going to happen. Yeah.
If the only way other people will believe is if you believe first.
Exactly. If you don't believe in yourself and you're just like, oh, I don't know if I can do it, like it's not going to happen.
Belief is like literally 99% of what makes you successful.
Yeah, because
99%.
Because at the end of the night, you just have to tell yourself like it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Because I know it's going to happen.
And that, it literally changes your actions. Like I've gotten conscious of the thoughts that I have, and I've realized like every single thought that I think about and constantly think about, it shifts the way I do things. Like I think we talked about it to get this space, right? Like before we were talking about before the podcast started that I was in another studio and I didn't think that I could get another one in the beginning. I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to find a space that quickly. But then I was like, oh wait, no, I could get it. And I shifted my focus to, I already have the space. Like it's already here. I don't need to go and get it. I know where it is. And my mind switched to one of belief and one of faith instead of thinking of everything as a negative, right? And it brought me here. Like we're sitting here in this new space because my actions shifted. Instead of thinking that it can't happen, I thought that it's 1000% guarantee that it is happening. And it put me on that path. And I think every situation you're in, if you can find the strength to look at the solution rather than the problem, you'll find the solution. You don't find it by just saying, oh, I have a problem. People are angry at me or I made a mistake here. Instead of focusing on mistakes and failures in the past and the trauma, if you could only realize that all that stuff was placed there to make you better. But if you always look at it as a detriment, you'll feel bad about yourself. You'll feel pushed down. But in reality, every failure is there's a quote that Les Brown said. He said, in life, there's God ordained opportunities disguised as problems, right? Every problem you have is an opportunity to become better.
Yeah,
right?
100%. 100%.
It's all how you look at it.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. That's why I feel like a lot of people get discouraged because of so-called haters. Which, it does hurt. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and be like...
But they're there to strengthen you, bro. Like, that's the reason. I think they're the only reason these negative things happen is to make you stronger. Because there's a certain place you get to in life where you would normally not get to. If everything was perfect, right? Like, if you got everything you wanted, there was no struggle, you would not become the person you are.
Exactly.
It would just be impossible to become a person. Like, if I was not good at, like, the first time I did this podcast, I was not good at speaking, right? And people told me that. Like, people said, well, why are you doing this podcast? You're not that good at it. And sure, and they were right. They were right. At that moment, they were right. But I could have allowed that to stop me in my tracks. Yeah. Or I could say, in this moment, I might not be, but the only way to get better is to continue to go.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And that's how everything is. Like, if the negative is only there to show you the information, to show you gaps of knowledge, the failure is just a gap of knowledge that you just have to learn. Right.
No, exactly. And I feel like that is the thing. Like, it's good to, if you don't have any haters, I feel like you're not really putting yourself out there. Because the thing is, like, if you have zero haters and you're doing your thing, I feel like it's just like, in a comfort level and there's no seeking of discomfort. And that's how you grow. Like, because, like, it does hurt when someone comes up and says, like, yeah, you suck. I'm like, okay. Okay, someone comes up and say you suck. My usual response is like, how, where, when, why? Like, it's just, you suck. Like, you suck. Like, sometimes you get comments like that, or people DM me saying like, I had this one kid one time actually, who would just want to tell me that he was better than me. That's all he ever wanted to do. Okay, so first he would like DM me, he's like, hey, I heard you make music. Like, I saw your page and whatnot. And he's all like, want to see my beats? I'm like, okay, sure, send me a link. Like, so he sent me SoundCloud. He was like just listing about, he's like, yo, I did this for this rapper. I sent beats to this rapper. This record got gold. I'm like, and I looked it up and I was like, I think half of it was fake, but I was just like, okay, like, cool. Like, good. I'm like, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, good stuff. Like, it was whatever. And then he's like, you want to collab? I'm like, sure. I love collabing with people. I'm just like, okay, if you're really into your craft, let's do it. And he's like, send me some of your beats that you've been working on. I'm like, sure. And I sent him some beats. And he's like, this ain't hitting, bro. I'm like, this ain't hitting. Like, you want to see mine? He's like, it has to be like this. And his thing, okay, back then, like, I wasn't that good at mixing, but I could tell this thing was clipping. Clipping is just, this thing was distorting. I was like, okay, I'm like, bro, but your thing is like really distorted. I just want to let you know, like, just slap a limiter on it or something, or soft. I want to
help you out. I could help you with it.
And then I said, he's like, nah, bro, I do this on purpose. That's what people like. I'm like, okay, no, I understand you, bro. I know people like that, like, but no streaming service is going to take a clip file. Like, your file is clipping too. Like, just put a soft limiter on it or like soft distortion or whatever. Like, make it seem like it's clipping, but it's not. But no, he's like, nah, bro, I know better than you, so stop talking, is what he said. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I was just trying to help out, bro. I'm not saying that you suck or anything. He's like, yeah, but you suck, dude. Like,
damn, he came back with that?
Yeah, he came back. He's like, yeah, you suck. Like, you have privilege. You like grew up in like California. Like, I do down and dirty in the ghettos. I'm just like, well, God. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm not saying anything about this. And he's just like, you people should not be in this. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay. I'm like, you're getting too much, bro. You're getting blocked.
This is,
he was just like venting out. Like, I was like, okay.
That shows me that person needs help. Like,
oh no, he needs some kind of help.
I'm
just saying, help. Like, people are like that.
But they're the ones that hate themselves, really. Yeah. Because that's the only way you hate is if you for unconsciously or even consciously hate yourself. And that's the way it expresses, and it expresses through shit like that. You know, like people will say things like, you know, that you might not want to hear. And it's, you never see somebody that's kind and generous and happy that way, right? And you could kind of understand, you could kind of like see the similarities between, you know, financially independent, successful people and those personality traits. Like you never meet a millionaire or like somebody that's, you know, happy in life and has everything they want. They live in abundance and they're never like hating on people, right? You don't see Jeff Bezos like flipping people off, right?
Yeah, you don't.
Elon Musk doesn't do any of that shit. And that's because, not because they have a shitload of money, that's the symptom of it.
Yeah.
That personality, that characteristic of them, of being kind, of being generous, that has always been there. But because of them building themselves up that way, because of them being generous, like I think Elon Musk, somebody tweeted at him and said, we could solve world hunger if you just donated $6 billion.
Oh, the UN said that too, tweeted to Elon Musk.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, sure. And he fucking sold $6 billion worth of shares of Tesla stock.
Something like that, right?
And I don't know if it happened or not. I don't think money could just solve the problem like that.
No, his thing was like, because the UN was like,
show me
$6 billion. Show me the
actual
plans. Like accountant. There has to be third-party accountants and stuff. But I don't think that ever like
came through. Yeah.
He's like, I will do it, but who knows? Like, what happens? But
most people, even if they had $1 trillion, would not give $6 billion. They're thinking, I had to keep all of this shit, you know. But that personality, that characteristic that he's developed through, you know, through the experiences that he had, that's the reason he has the money. The money comes to like another great Jim Rohn quote is like, success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Meaning success is looking for a good place to stay. So you have to develop yourself.
Exactly.
Right. And that's my whole philosophy is if I become the person that is worthy of success, success automatically comes. Like you don't have to go chase anything. You just develop yourself and eventually everything else falls in line.
Oh, 100%. I feel like a lot of people see success as something as like an end goal, like something like if I make $1 million, I'll be successful.
Yeah.
But that's it. What happens after that, right? I feel like success is just an ongoing thing. Like right now, I feel successful.
Yeah.
Like at this point in my life,
you are a success.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm like some narcissist or some guy, but like, no, I feel successful. That's just what it is. But it's not an end goal though. It's not like I'm done. I'm far from being done. There's no such thing as done, to be very honest with you.
I think you could. There's not enough lifetimes to garner all your potential, to be able to fulfill all your potential. Oh, yeah. It's just there's not enough lifetimes to be able to do that. Like
100%. And once like old age comes and like I pass away or something, that's one of my goals. Where like there's still something I did or did many times that like still resonates among people. It might be one thing. It might be just in my family or like my friends or whatever. But you know, like something that's just like kind of like a legacy or something. You know,
for me, I just never want to be completely satisfied with and be content, like just completely content without doing anything more. I always think that there's something more I could develop myself. Like not that there's an end goal. Like I think it's infinite. There's infinite potential. You could never really quite get there. It's just always going to increase. You do something, you achieve a goal, there's another goal. You achieve this amount, okay, now there's something else. It's always going to increase, but the journey for me is the best part. Like I've taken a lot of chances and risks in my life, and I would do them 1,000 times over, 1,000,000 times over, because every single one that I thought would create a whole bunch of problems or all these fears came up, even though they came up, the back end of it, how it played out, it wasn't about achieving. It was about the process of it, the ups and downs. That's the best part of life. They say life's a roller coaster. That's the part. Like, the goal is not to get to the end of the ride. The goal is to enjoy the journey. The
slopes.
Yeah, the journey is the best part.
Yeah,
and that's how I view it. Like, I never want that ride to stop. Like, some people might, just stop in the middle and be like, all right, well, I guess this is a good place. That there's a nice view here. Might just stop here. I never wanted to stop. Like, always continuing to find new things. Something else that inspired me. All right, I want to do this now. Okay, I did that. Something else. I always want that to occur. Never stagnant. Because I don't know. For me, that's something personally that I would enjoy.
No, 100%. That's the thing. It's like that attitude of being insatiable, and in a good sense. I don't say that word as a negative word. It's just like, like I just want to keep going and keep finding new things. It's good because, like, at one point it's like, what is retirement? Like, why? I don't like that word. I
don't want to retire. Like, I want to find something, or I found it, but I want to continue to do things that I enjoy for the rest of my life. Like, I want to die like still doing those things.
100%. Right? Yeah, that's what I want to do too. Like, I don't want to like stop.
Yeah.
'Cause I just feel like right now I'm in a time of my life where, like, like, are your parents or like all of our like family friends just like, oh, so you're done with your education, so like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, like, accounting, but
not
like,
really.
oh, they'll be like, nice, like, you do accounting. I mean, like, yeah, I'll get like my CPA license or something, but I feel like it's just not fulfilling for me. I'm not saying it's not a great career choice or whatever, and not putting accountants down. Trust me, I do enjoy accounting. I feel like it's really helps me in business, but
there's
it's
something
not
more
fulfilling. Yeah. Like, I'm actually working with the artist, which like keep on a lookout. Keep on a lookout. But he's actually really insane artist. He's been working like grinding his ass off.
Really,
I haven't seen artists like that in a long time. So just seeing his
hunger,
once a week, I sit with him and I produce like, I know, like, pretty much you're help him out. Like, hey, I feel like this, because a lot of people get confused as a producer. Sean is beat making. It's also about like, like, it's like a movie director. I was like, hey, I think you should act like this or something. But like, hey, I feel like this idea. Then like we do some cool stuff. So like just doing that, I'm just like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And then I just get so much more idea. I'm just like, bro, I want more from you now. Like, I'm feeding off your energy right now. And he's just like, dude, that's just how it is. Like, he feeds off my energy, I feed off his. So I'm just like, hey, I think we should do more.
Yeah. And that's where you feel like in the zone. Like, you feel happy and fulfilled. And you're not even looking at the time. You're not even looking at the clock or how long it's going to take or anything. Like, there's no 10,000 hour rule to achieve. It's just in the moment.
It's just in the moment. You're learning too.
Things,
That's why I said, I'm just like, I think we can up this and like get even better at this. I'm like, let's shoot a music video. And he's like, I'm down. I'm like, let's do it. And like, before, it's like, it was impossible, right? To like, so the thing is like, how am I going to get my money to shoot this? I have nothing this. I just said, let's shoot a music video. He said, okay. And like you said, like, we're looking for the space. Like, how do you start? Just keep going. Yeah. Same thing. I was just like, dude, I don't have that much money to shoot a music video. I need a car. I need models. I need a director. I'm like, yo, how am I going to do this? I don't have money. Literally, like, just parties where I met like models, and I was just like, hey, hit them up. I'm just like, I'll pay you. I can't pay you a lot, but it's just a small shoot. They're like, okay, let us know. We'll come. Bet. I called my boy who goes to film school. I'm like, I need a director.
Yeah.
And I need film equipment. I need cameras. Can you get it me for free? And then he's like, yeah, I got you.
Damn. Yeah. It all happens, bro.
And then, the thing, it was cool. Like, sometimes you don't even have to pay money. Like, some people are like, oh, I don't have the money to do this. We found a really cool director, and how he takes payment is he likes to party. So
he likes to party.
He likes
Take
to party.
Him on a good party.
So he told me, he's like, hey man, we'll shoot the whole thing. I'll direct it, get the camera crew and everything. The way we want to get paid is you have to like find us a party. I'm like, I got you.
I got you.
I'm like, this is actually kind of cool. Like, so like, we're trying to shoot a music video for like close to $0 as possible. That's it.
Yeah, and it happens. Like, there's anything you want. I think it's more than achievable, but you have to look at it like that first.
Exactly.
Right. It doesn't come to those who think it's never gonna happen, or
yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's why I said like because you see these budgets for music videos for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm just like, dude, I cannot do any of that, but I'm still gonna do a music video. And as I told my artists too, I'm just like, you're gonna be in a music video.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, because I know the song that we're releasing a single for his album.
Yeah.
And the single's like, I'm like, dude, this is like itching for a music video. Like, I can only imagine the visuals.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, how are we going to do it, though? We have no money, dude. I'm like, we are going to do it. There's no saying no. We're going to figure it out.
I know. I think the most powerful thing is human will.
Yeah.
If you could stake it on some claim, whatever purpose that is, it will happen no matter what. Like, you just send it out there, and the thing is, you never know how it's going to happen. Like, you didn't know that you were going to meet these models.
No,
I didn't know that this guy wanted to be at a party.
Yeah, it was just random.
It's just random. Like, you get what you look for, basically.
Exactly.
And I think it works out always. And as long as you put your best foot forward and you believe in it, it'll always work.
It's all about, like, just going, like, just be out there networking.
Yeah.
Because, like, this one party I went to, it was, like, this, like, weird party, but, like, it was just, like, people doing all kinds of things. But I was just sitting, I was just chilling. And my friend, like, he tips a poker girl to come in. They call poker girls, I don't know why, but to come and massage me, right? And I was like, yo. And my friend's like, from the back, it's like, yeah, man, get it.
Yeah.
Relax. I'm like, sit down. I told her, I'm like, I'll still pay you. Like, just sit down. Like, I'll tip you. And honestly, I had a great conversation with her. And she was telling me how she wants to start a business and stuff. I'm just like, all right, I'll give you my number, my business card. Take it. And I did that a while back, right?
Yeah.
And that came all the way spiraling back to today, or like now, where I'm just like, wait, I need a model. I'm just like, wait.
Yeah.
I remember. I have your number. Like, let me call you up. And like,
yeah, there have been so many things like that in my life personally. Like, there was a shirt that I bought at a Dave Chappelle show in at the Hollywood Bowl in April, right? And I was like, should I buy this? At first, like, my friend who was with me, he bought it. And I was like, this is a really dope shirt. I should buy one of those. And then I was like, should I buy it? It's like $40. I'm like, of course, it's triple the price or whatever. And then I'm like, all right, why not? And the quality on it was like really amazing and comfortable. And when I wanted to start my clothing brand, like I had the idea for about 2 years, right? Like, I just had an idea of like, I want to start a clothing brand. I had no idea how to do it, where the suppliers are going to come from, where anything's going to come from. And then came up with the name, and the shirt that I had, I was like, this is a really good quality. And I found a supplier that was like literally 2 or 3 miles from my house that had amazing reviews and everything. And I showed the guy the shirt, and he's like, I want this kind of quality. And he's like, I know exactly what this shirt is. And he found like the wholesale shirt, like that without the print or anything.
Yeah.
Those types of shirts, like this is the exact shirt. And I was like, how did that play out? Like, I got the shirt in April, and then this guy found it, and I need it for this clothing brand, and it all worked out. Like, this, I would never have imagined that to happen. Like, the random coincidence. I don't think it's like coincidence. I think everything is just like, it seems like a coincidence. It seems random to us, but it's just how
happening.
it is.
I just feel like like you said, you just have to do it. Like, I think that's with anything in life.
Yeah.
Like, I remember there was this one girl I saw on Instagram a while back, and I was just like, oh, she's like cute, right? I was like, I want to kind of like, it'll be cool to go on a date with her, right?
Yeah.
And and like I think a year or 2 years later, like I see this chick on like Tinder or something, and then we matched. I was like, this is where like I was like, this is so weird, bro. This is hella weird. And I was just like, all right, let's go on a date, and we did. I was just like, the whole time just like 2 years ago, I just like just had like a thought about like taking you out, but like now
it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, like, it didn't go anywhere or anything, but I was just like, life is weird.
Life is weird.
I'm like, how did this happen? But
when you send out a signal, I think it reaches.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
All parts of the universe and makes it happen. It conspires. To make it happen.
100%. It just goes. And but yeah, I did want to ask you a question though. So you're a content creator too, and I kind of asked like my friends who are content creators, what was like the funniest, like, I'll share mine too, but like, what is like the funniest moment you had while like working on your content creation?
Like doing the podcast?
Like something like weird, like.
let me think. I think we were talking about your boy Zurich.
Yeah.
Right? That was one of the funniest moments on the podcast. Like that man could tell a story, bro. Like I was dying. I was dying when he was telling that story about pranking that guy and shit. Like, so I think there's not like one moment, but it's just a collection of storytelling. Like that's what I love about this is the conversation aspect. Like something that is way more in depth than if I just went and met you like on the street, right? Like we'll talk for a few minutes, but then we're on our way. But here I could really get to know people, you know. That's like that where, like brings me so much joy, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I love too, because like I have so many funny stories in the studio, like people coming, like sometimes they bring their kids along and they're like pulling out my acoustic treatment. I'm like, yo. But this one time was like probably the time where I like always like cherish, because it's just so funny, and I kind of just gives you validation, like, oh, this is so fun to do.
Yeah.
So I had this guy hit me up saying like, hey, me and my boy want to come record. I'm like, sure, man, here's the rates for it, come do it. The thing is, the boy he was bringing he was also on the track, but he was dating my he was like at the time dating my ex-girlfriend. So I was just like, okay, I didn't care too much about it. I was like, whatever, like I'm just working right now, like this is my thing. So he comes in, we're recording and stuff, and suddenly she starts calling him. So he starts freaking out. I'm like, what happened, bro? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, like, she can't know I'm here. I'm like, why? I'm just like, it's just awkward, bro.
It's just
like,
awkward.
She dated you and she's dating me now. I'm like, okay, that's not a big problem.
Yeah,
like, it's fine. I'm literally just recording right now.
Yeah, keep it professional.
Yeah. And this man's true story. So the thing is, back then I had a bed in my studio because I used to just sleep in my room and just turn.
Yeah.
Now I took the bed out, but back then I still had the bed. So he's like, bro, I need to act like I'm sleeping. I'm like, okay. And he's like, can I go in your bed? So shit you not, we're in this middle of a session. I'm on my chair and he's like taking a selfie of himself in like my
sheets,
bed, in my sheets. And then I'm just trying not to laugh. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, am I really getting paid to do this? This is great. So he takes selfie. I'm just like, all right, fix my bed though, bro. And he fixes my bed. And then we go back recording. And that was the day. I was like, even till this day, me and my friends, I just like tell them the story. And they're just like, dude, that's so random, bro.
I would be thinking like, if she saw the sheets, like if she's ever been in your room and she saw the sheets, again, she's like, I know those sheets. What are you doing in
That would
there?
be even more funny. Yeah, that would have been hilarious. But I don't think she knows my sheets. But
okay.
Bro, that's fun. It was like just so random.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's a good way to wrap it up. Thank you for coming by.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was really fun. Hopefully we do it again.
Yeah,
and
100%.
That'll be a fun time. But yeah, glad we did this. It was good to be back and recording again. It was in this new space, which is fun. But hope you guys enjoyed as well. We'll catch you later. Have a good week. Peace.